Going over to the Cultural Pod podcast, you have the Starbucks union irate and going on strike because, God forbid, they just got a dress code update. Heaven forbid, they'll now have to wear slightly darker clothes and maybe even a pair of khakis, or some people call them kahikis, which actually does sound kind of fancier. Now, I should put a visual disclaimer because you're going to see Starbucks baristas, which not many, but some would argue are more viscerally disgusting than looking at me. Just saying something. Now, this is brought to us thanks to End Wokeness. And he says, quote, baristas walking off the job to resist the new dress code at Starbucks. And spoiler, well, no, you probably already know this. They mostly have the cow rings, which I don't know if there's some type of psyop to have women be unattractive, so the human race just decays into nothingness. But yeah, the amount of nose rings I see these days, the cow rings, is quite concerning. It seems to be 89.9% of all dating profiles. Or maybe it's just me. Without too much further ado, it's about 14 seconds long. And hilariously enough, this one Starbucks union rep actually is already wearing khakis. But nevertheless.
I believe that. I believe that we will. I believe that we will. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
Of all the disposable jobs where you're replaceable, barista is one of them. And of course, the purest cliche thing is, yeah, liberal white gals, usually with college degrees, about 18 pounds of metal bolted on their face, and usually shorter hair than me, which, yes, I'm overdue to get a haircut, but working 17 hours a day, not a lot of free time. It'll get there eventually, but this went pretty well. I got 4.1 million views as well as 23,000 likes, and also I think shows the cultural laziness of a lot of Americans or ungratefulness. I'll never forget, my sister actually got a job at Starbucks like years ago. The amount of benefits you get from working there are insane. Granted, they can afford it. A cup of coffee is like $25 now. I mean, it's mostly candy in a cup, but nevertheless, the coffee's expensive. That's the joke. I mean, you got stock options, healthcare, dental, like the amount of benefits you get for being a barista is ridiculously good. I mean, Howard Schultz built the best coffee company on the planet, and it's still not enough for the unions, which I think kind of shows the greed of a lot of them and ungratefulness. Now they're complaining, heaven forbid, we have to buy a slightly darker shirt and then pants. And I think they changed, the company's gonna give it to them for free. Now, not to sound like a boomer. However, back in my day, one of my first jobs, I just spent about $20 on black sneakers and I think about $18 on black dress pants. So I could be a cashier at the wonderful establishment of Cinemark. Haha, sarcasm, that's okay. But then I quickly made that money back in, just one day. And yeah, these people are irate that they have to dress slightly nicer. You work at the company, you have to make some concessions. I'm actually surprised. Well, I'm sure if they were actually say no facial like construction or no cow rings, they would lose about 89% of all their employees. So I understand why they might be hesitant to roll out that type of stipulation in their employment agreement contract. But again, to wear slightly nicer pants and a slightly darker shirt for branding, of course, the baristas are pissed. Now, this was pretty viral, but in terms of the scope, is about 1,000 workers walked off. Again, there's over 80,000 employees at the Starbucks these days. Not financial advice, but yes, like $80 per share, give or take, kind of fluctuates. They've been doing pretty well. Now, they also have a new CEO trying to do a turnaround plan. Former CEO of Chipotle came over to Starbucks a couple months ago. Of all the people who should have a Starbucks Rolex, he actually wears a chronograph, which is ridiculous. It's a lot more expensive, but dude, you're the CEO of Starbucks. How do you not have a Starbucks Rolex is beyond me. Although you cannot beat the awesomeness of a Garmin. Was this Forerunner 230 with a green band? It's the best ROI because I got for free from a friend, but I partially digress. Going to the comments, well, the first one comes to us thanks to this alleged Planet of Memes or memes. I say alleged because yet again, they did not include a meme. Planet of Memes says, quote, maybe they can go get a job with their gender studies degrees now, getting 1.1 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman said, quote, LOL, like anyone cares, getting 2.4 thousand likes. Then again, I do think this is kind of just culturally speaking, like, and again, I think it is a culture shift in the United States. Decades ago, there's a lot less, people are a lot more appreciative of opportunity, and there really wasn't much pushback from employees if you had to have a standard uniform or you had to have a slightly darker shirt. Nowadays, these people are acting like it's the end of the world. Now, you know me, I like to get a good ROI. I got this suit like 15 years ago. Every day, wear it and just rock it. Good ROI. It still hasn't fallen apart yet. You also have cool Christian engineers saying, quote, Starbucks employees be like, he's got what is this, Grok? It's an AI, or it's a cartoon. It says, Starbucks barista watching me not tip for my $6 coffee. It's a cow with a Starbucks apron, a cow ring, necklace, short pink hair, and it looks like some, I think the cow ear tags are the flag of probably maybe Venezuela or something like that. Which obviously this is not accurate. The earrings would be the trans pride flag, obviously. Now that got to 2.1 thousand likes. Scrolling down more and more. You have Livercat Media TM says, quote, perfect meme for the perfect time. It says no more woke. And it's the evolution chain. And they have the guy says, turn around, go back, something's gone wrong. And there's a trans person to the right of him, getting 1.7 thousand likes. Paul Zupa says, how will we ever cope? Getting 574 likes. Another indicative thing of culturally, people becoming mentally more weak in the United States. I'll never forget, was it Q1 this year? No, Q4 last year. There's a male barista who broke down and cried when he had to work an 8-hour shift because it's too much stress. He was very upset that the orders were complex, which is ridiculous. It's literally the one job you have. Anyone can do a black drip coffee. I'm pretty frugal and pretty simple. I usually just get black drip coffee wherever I go. But the reason Starbucks makes so much ridiculously impressive profit is because their drinks are more complex than the UX tax code, and they give you that custom experience. That is the whole purpose of a barista. That's why they exist, is complex orders. Granted, you could argue how, it doesn't take a lot of training to get it done, but again, that's a big value of the Starbucks is the fancy coffee, or the fancy candy in a cup, more accurately. Linda Yacarino simply has the exploding emoji, getting 108 likes. You also have Exactly Right says, how much education in subjects like math, science, or literacy does someone need to be a barista? Getting 1.2 thousand likes. And then they have Grok. They ask Grok, and Grok is like, they mainly only need a high school diploma. Skills like coffee preparation or learned on-job training. Got 512 likes. Oh, it's got what is this? 3.8 thousand likes for this one. Rude Onion says, quote, for anyone wondering, they're bitching this much over wearing darker shirts and jeans that they'll get for free. Raise your hands if you think more restrictive dress codes or any kind of uniform at work. Or raise your hand if you've had that in life. And obviously, everyone will be like, yeah, I did. And this is a definition of the Starbucks, new uniform, saying, quote, the more defined color palette includes any solid black short or long sleeve crew neck, collared, or button-up shirts, and a shade of khaki, black, or blue denim bottoms. We're also making a new line of company-branded t-shirts available to partners who will receive 2 at no cost, including partner network options. And again, they got 3.8 thousand likes. The gas stove says, quote, the people should have, a contrarian statement. I had to scroll a little bit, but this person says, quote, the people should have the liberty to wear whatever they want. Shame on Starbucks for mandating a dress code. This is literally unconstitutional. This person's a moron. Let's see here. So the JD responded saying minimum wage worker for life and pointing up, getting 554 likes. As youth might say, the gas stove was ratioed. Because obviously, you're voluntarily entering into an employment agreement. You obviously should have to wear a uniform if the company mandates it. The Constitution protects you from the government, so the government can't just walk up to you on the street and say, hey, you got to wear something different. You have to have a dress code. Joey replied saying, quote, they can wear whatever they want, just not on the job, getting 522 likes. Kevin Smith says, quote, wait, they had a dress code the whole time? Then why do y'all look like homeless hookers? Getting 4.8 thousand likes. Technonic says it's only a matter of time. It's got an AI picture of what looks like to be the Tesla robot at a Starbucks with a Starbucks, what do we call it? Uniform? Or the apron, Shows how much of a culinary aficionado I am. For a minute there, I forgot the word apron. Now that I think about it, I don't even think I own one. Although, why would I? I'm a bachelor, me. The blender makes most of my meals, and then the microwave. Which, simple organic beef from a steak from the Walmart, pretty easy to do. But nevertheless, scrolling down more and more. I Love American News says, fire them. There's a picture of a folded up $100 bill, but when you open it up, it says, Kamala lost, LOL. And he said, I ordered some of these to drop into the tip jar at Starbucks. Getting 1.9 thousand likes. And again, this is a small sample size. I think it's about 1,000 employees who walked off. So in this case, I don't think they'll see like a ripple effect necessarily where, other Starbucks locations across the US go on strike, especially because again, they're getting clothing for free too. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I think some people just they'll complain about anything. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.